Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It's markets in the morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Monday, May 15th, 2023. It's Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, the stock market, as we get ready for the stock market to get ready to open in the next 5 minutes. So we'll be peeking over here at the Bitcoin price chart, the XRP price chart, Ethereum, the DXY, gold, Dow Jones, all that good stuff. And then we'll take a look over there at the news and the economic calendar to get ready for the day to start. So I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. What's going on, guys? To see you all in the chat. Thanks for showing up today. Let's go ahead and dive into the prices as we get ready to start our week. Currently, Bitcoin sits at 27,402 after last Friday getting all the way down to 25,800. Just a mere $500 away from hitting in that little box I've had there for the last month at this point. You can take a look at Bitcoin's price action in here. This, definitely has me on caution here that this is just kind of a throwback of broken support happening in here. Many times in these moments, this is where we see the big plow down come afterwards. So keeping an eye on here. If we get a significant break any higher than where we're currently at right now, hey, things might start looking a little bit optimistic, as we've talked about with XRP last week. I talked about dipping my toes in the sand down here, or dipping my toes into the water as we're at this 200-day moving average. Like I mentioned, though, the amount of money that I intend to put into XRP during this dip, I did only put in 10% right here. We have seen this level hold here before, but I'm definitely way too on caution of something like that happen. But at this point right now, like I said, I'm looking for supports to hold in here. If we do get a dip and break below the 200 week, that's where I will add some more. And then the big add would come if there's one more fall. But I have dipped my toes in the sand in here. But as you can see, prices have not popped away over here. We do see the whole cryptocurrency market in green today. But the one thing I do take notice of is that if we have hit a bottom, if we are ready to go surging, typically some things are going to be leading the way. We would start to see a couple of things starting to really take off. And we're just not seeing that yet. Yes, we got a lot of green over here, but there's nothing really taking off just yet. So I'm still very cautious of this being a throwback right in here. And that's still, like we've talked about, kind of the cruel summer. There is a volume gap in this whole area right in here between, about 26,800 and down in here to about 25,000. And that just, it seems likely to have to work this out for some time if we want to have a real support built in here. Otherwise, there's just no support in here. It's just a washing machine happening between these prices. And I'm just kind of keeping my eyes out on a throwback actually happening right in here. Should we break out and head up to, say, 28,900 or 29,000? Okay. It starts perking my interest at that point. But right now, this is a classic. If this is a head and shoulders, which, as you guys know, I don't really like talking about because they do fail so often. But if this is a head and shoulders, one of the rules is a throwback to the neckline of the broken head and shoulders, and then off and away you go. So definitely this week on caution about that happening right now. We've also been experiencing meme coin mania, right? And I get it. We don't really talk about meme coins here very often, and the technical analysis on meme coins can be quite hard, as they really are based on no fundamentals. It's more of just like a gamble of get in, get out, and then goes to zero. I think that's going to be the case for the vast majority of meme coins. The size that Pepe got to, I'm questioning whether or not it would actually go to zero, or if this is kind of like the SHIB of 2023. I don't own any Pepe, but from a technical perspective, one thing I was looking for down in here, and I didn't take a position in it, and I don't have a position in it right now, was a throwback to here, just counting the wave structures that we would head back to this height before setting new lows again. So I do see that over here in Pepe, that it does look like this thing is probably going to head lower. And that coincides with my thoughts over here with Bitcoin as well. Things that are kind of like on the fence is still that, is Ethereum creating the creek. So in a Wyckoff accumulation, right, we have our automatic rally, secondary tests, and then you go into a spring, you go into a creek phase before your spring ends up showing up in here. This one's still difficult, but certainly looking like a creek at this point. I'm still going to remain kind of indifferent on Ethereum at this point. But considering I see this over here on Bitcoin, I think there's just a flush. But I'll change my mind if we get back up to 29,000. But I do think that's a normal back test of a broken support and a throwback to a neckline for Bitcoin. And that we still have some more working out in here for our cruel summer before we get going later on in this year, hopefully, which is what my thoughts are. As for XRP, we kind of already talked about it here just a minute ago, that we're sitting on top of that 200-day moving average. It still has continued to hold. What are we at now? This is the 8th day of sitting on top of the 200-day moving average, regardless of Bitcoin's volatile price action as it broke through support and back testing. It is making no impact over here on XRP's price, sitting right here on top of the support. Let me just comment real quick here. Whiskey 2, welcome back, dude. I'll get to your thing in a minute, but man, we've been wondering where you are, bro. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at right now as we start this week, watching to see if this is a throwback. That's what my thoughts are, at least from my view over here on Bitcoin. That's the big watch of the week. Was this a throwback happening for Bitcoin? So that's kind of the dictator of the market likely for the rest of the week. Big caution right in here. If a breakout comes and we head to 29,000, that's a pretty optimistic sign happening in there, that could be our low. But definitely, I'm not convinced yet as we are back at the neckline of the breakdown. So all eyes on this to see if this rolls over from exactly where we're at right now for Bitcoin. XRP still just waiting on the rest of the market to tell us if we're going to pull something similar to as we did back in 2020, such as our 22.5 cent time period, which I talked about in a video last week, or do we just kind of continue on like 2017? Bitcoin is likely the dictator of it all. As for the market, as the stock market has just opened 2 minutes ago, we do have a green day over here in the market, although slightly, practically flat. You got a mix over here in equity, some in the green, some in the red, and we could just see that represented here by the indexes. As the Dow Jones is up 2.25 points, it's at 0.01%, NASDAQ at 0.14%, and the S&P 500 at 0.12%. So this is pretty much a flat opening to start out the week currently right now, with yields slightly up. The 1 month is down for the first time. Hey, it's actually down just slightly. Let's take a look over here. Well, not much. Still sitting over there at the highs as we approach that debt ceiling deadline set for June 1st before the U.S. has to default on something, whether that's Social Security or Treasury payments. We'll see about that. As for gold, gold's still just in that battle near the all-time high. No decision being made there yet for gold. Like we talk about throughout history, it's one or the other. It's either the Dow Jones or in the stock market, or it's gold. And currently, the Dow still cannot clear through that retracement level while gold is above it trying to get through that all-time high. If gold gets through that all-time high, that is a negative sign for the stock market. But still, to this time period, we don't have an answer. The US dollar currency index sitting on a little bit of a bounce that it had coming off of Friday. Still just waffling around down here at the lows at this time. Nothing really to make of this still. I've done the wave counts on these things before. On my thoughts on it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have wave 5, and then wave 6 rolls back up to wave 4 within wave 5. And then it is very common that we sit down here until kerplunk. And then we get 7. And then that's the big question of what happens with the DXY at that point. Do we stall here, or is this thing going much lower? Typical waves would say that we move back up from here. So it's something to be cautious about at that time. When it comes to the US dollar currency index, we've done a lot of analysis on this throughout the years. And we know that in the 2017 bull run, when the DXY was falling, the altcoin market, Bitcoin, was ripping the entire time. However, that was not the case back there in 2020 and 2021. Bitcoin didn't actually break out into its all-time high till down here in December. So we got all the way down to these lows right in here, and really the cryptocurrency market all ran through that time period. not necessarily that time period. We still sat way down at the lows for the majority of the cryptocurrency market. And then the breakouts all started happening down here in December, and all the action took place in here. So we're not quite there yet on the DXY, but that'll be the thing that I'll be keeping my eyes out for at that time. But to remember that, like, you know, when it comes to crypto, even in a good year, the exciting time periods can just last a couple of months and then be completely over. So you can have an epic year like 2021 was, but it's short-lived, right? It was only a portion of the year, right? And that's going to be my thoughts with crypto this time around too. That just, you know, and who knows what the narrative will be, but that's something exciting. Who knows? When we get down in here for the DXY, we saw changes in it from 2017 that it all took place at the lows. So here we are, we're moving down. We know as the DXY broke down, this is also exactly where the FTX collapse happened. So we finally got our break, and then we got FTX. So amazing timing. But all right, that's it for DXY. Still, that's my thoughts. That's my count. That's my justification. So anytime I try to say, what are my thoughts on something, why I think price action will do something, I'll try to provide a valid reason on why I think so, rather than saying I have the magical guru powers of being able to figure it out. I've run through crashing structures many, many times on this channel. I see the crashing structure. It's common to sit here and waffle around in here before the final break happens, but the big caution for the bottom is down in here. But one thing we also know is that when that happened back in 2020 and 2021, we stayed down here for a while, and this is where all the cryptocurrency action happened last time. So just food for thought. Again, for Ethereum, still just looking like a creek phase in here until proven otherwise, as we sit here waiting on Bitcoin. I've got just a bunch of garbage all over the screen. Good job. There we go. As it looks somewhat like a throwback happening right now. So that's going to be the caution heading into the week. If that is nothing more than a throwback, then we would be having a rough week ahead. So caution on that. And still, we haven't reached the areas that I think should be the supportive levels, or at least gotten back to closed volume inefficiencies or volume gaps in the market. We got within $500 of it, but still, for those who have studied their head and shoulders out there, even if this is one or isn't one, it does make sense to go back and throw back and back test the neckline. We've talked about that many times. So throw back to the neckline is the most common thing to happen. Obviously I haven't finished my course, but in there I do talk about head and shoulders, and in there we're talking about neckline throwbacks. So this is a common thing to happen before a move down happens. So still, just because we see green today, we're not getting a convincing response from the altcoin market saying, hey, let's go flying today. We're just seeing small percentages here and there. And then like one of the feels like it's been kind of a signature of when the market is moving is whether or not people are so insane with their money that they'll take on exorbitant amounts of risk. Whereas like when we're at $15,500 for Bitcoin, nobody would touch it, right? Because it's going to 12K. Throw a meme coin out there, dude, they'll send it to any wallet. They'll send money to a pre-sale anything, just so they don't miss the next Pepe. But yeah, so this does seem like it's continuing to roll over. We'll keep an eye on that and go through that. So that's what you're looking at today. Bitcoin, caution for a throwback. XRP still on top of that 200-day moving average. Nothing convincing coming out of here just yet that we're moving up just now. Stock market, look at that. Dow rolls over, now down 80 points, so down 0.25%. S&P down 0.05%. And the NASDAQ still slitting slightly in the green, plus 0.08 with a mix over here. You got more green, more of the stuff is in the NASDAQ. No real big losers today. And you do have Coinbase up 1.5% today. So Coinbase, you should be at the top of that list. Real close to it. Okay. Gold, still the battle at all-time high. DXY, we just went through all of that. Economic calendar, nothing huge on the economic calendar this week. Typically it's really just those CPIs, those PPIs, and those FOMC meetings. And we don't have any of that this week. I think we just have like oil, we have new home sales, and nothing too huge to impact market, at least on the economic calendar. Whether there's some surprise economic data that comes out or something like that, okay, but there's nothing on the economic calendar to get us all riled up for something happening. So as for news, I haven't seen much out there. I think really still everybody's just kind of in that, like, as for news, everybody's trying chase the next, what could be the next Pepe or the next meme coin. I'm sure you guys have seen it out there, and maybe you haven't. Just all the controversy surrounding BenCoin, and then Ben.eth and the PSYOP thing, and people are sending exorbitant amounts of money to some random guy on Twitter for a pre-sale of a meme coin. I think he's raised $7 million. Oh boy. I feel that this is the topic that I have to write about today, is the meme coin mania, and what is going on out there. And like, I do get it. Not everybody cares about meme coins, but what is it saying about our market at this time right now that people are doing this? So I think that's going to be the topic. Again, a newsletter will be out tonight, so we'll get that out there tonight. Yeah. Oh boy, it's a crazy time. Bitcoin bounces back to 27K. Binance plans exit from Canada. Yep. So I think I retweeted that throughout the weekend, that Binance was, unfortunately today we have to announce that Binance will be joining other prominent crypto businesses and proactively withdrawing from the Canadian marketplace. So Binance is leaving Canada. Customers, you are done. You cannot access Binance whenever that day does happen. Bitcoin holds above the 200-week average. Yeah, so that's one thing to notice too, is that Bitcoin is above its 200-week moving average, kind of like a little bit of a testy tester right there, still holding it. So that is one optimistic thing for Bitcoin in there. Again, this is going to be my big watch for today. Back testing a neckline breakdown. Back to the news. This is all paid stuff. Ether holds. I think we talked about this last week, but if you don't know, there was all that worry about Ethereum being unlocked from staking because it had been stuck for years. All of that got unlocked. No impact on the market. And at this point now, when that unlock happened, there was value that left the staking pools, and now the staking pools are back at all-time highs. So, yeah. People are locking up their Ethereum again. Let's see. Significant risk of U.S. Treasury running out of funds soon. Yep, we've talked about that. That's the big worry coming up in 2 weeks. As the debt ceiling is approaching, Bitcoin price bounces at 25.8 lows amid warning of low whale interest. Okay. Low whale interest. Big warning, guys. The whales are not interested. Bitcoin, what do they call it? It's bullish selling. Bitcoin price hits 27.2, but analysis warns more losses are likely. Bitcoin addresses holding one Bitcoin or more reach 1 million, according to Glassnode. I have looked at that Glassnode data. We haven't talked about that in a long time. There are some positive things about the address wallets in Glassnode right now about Bitcoin. Maybe we'll cover that later this week in a video. Bitcoin miner Rhodium faces lawsuit. Okay. Editor's choice. Bitcoin addresses holding one Bitcoin or more reach 1 million. Glassnode. Zimbabwe sells millions of gold-backed crypto tokens despite IMF warning. OpenAI CEO in advanced talks for 1 million WorldCoin. Okay, SEC. Okay. Who cares, man? All right. Yeah, okay, whatever. Paul Truder Jones says the Fed is done raising rates. Stocks to finish the year higher from here. Look, he doesn't know, dude. Like, the market is what tells us if it's going to do. And the CME data currently right now says 85% chance of their pause, but a 25% of another rate hike. Look, they said that they would do 75 basis point rate hikes throughout the year. That's what they said in December. And said in 2023, we're going to do 75 basis points. Well, they've now done it. We've seen banking stuff break. They've hit their 75 basis points. They kind of changed their language a little bit. Jerome Powell said, look, we're not talking about doing more rate hikes. We changed that verbiage. The market has it priced at 85% probability that they're paused, but we know those probabilities change a lot the closer we get to those, and we won't have that for another month. So we're waiting on that. Okay, Dow futures rise on debt ceiling deal hope. Okay. So what now? What are they now? Did they lose hope? That's the silliest headlines. It reminds me of like China trade talks. You guys remember that from 2019? Market rises on trade talk optimism. Market falls because of trade talk worries, of China trade talk worries. This is going to be our headlines for the next. When they show this, guys, you will know they've got nothing to talk about. Dow futures rise on debt ceiling hope. Okay, so they were up like 20 points, right? Wait, where'd you go? There you go. So do we change the narrative? Oh dear God, please. Here, let's refresh it. Let's see if they've changed it to debt. Please say debt ceiling worries. Stocks are little changed as traders assess ongoing debt ceiling negotiations. Yes, they changed it. Yeah, they couldn't keep that there. All right. This is how silly the news is. All right. I don't take it serious when we go into this. All right, debt ceiling talks inch forward. I guess I got to refresh this because they all need to change their headlines now that the market's all over the place. Debt ceiling talks inch forward ahead of Biden's travel to Asia. Okay, this is going to be what we're talking about for the next couple of weeks. Guarantee it. Don't combine a constitutional crisis and debt default. Higher debt default risk is higher than ever. How can you safeguard your wealth? I haven't checked the credit default swaps. I think they're still at the same. 1 year credit default swaps. What are you doing? It's the same. 150. So there you go. 150. That's 1.5%. It's still just sitting there flat. And we go back to the max, right? So here's your great financial crisis way back here at 67 for the 1 year credit default swaps, which is insurance against U.S. defaulting on 1 year sovereign bonds. Now it's at 150. So the highest ever, right? The bond market, they've called the bluff on the Fed every time, except this time. They're actually kind of worried that, or not on the Fed, excuse me, on the Congress, not raising the debt ceiling. This is the first time since the great financial crisis this has happened with the bond market. So it's definitely things people are keeping their eyes on right now. Yeah. So, okay. That's the news, right? The news is we got the debt ceiling coming up here in 2 weeks. The media is doing everything they can to say the stock market is moving based on whatever they have to. So right now, this morning they were saying optimism. Now they say, I don't know. But yeah, that's just going to kind of how it is. NASDAQ is up slightly. So we have just kind of a mixed market, down 1.7 for Roblox, plus 1.7 for Coinbase and everything else in between. Yields up mostly for longer dated stuff. And metals slightly up, about 0.5% here for metals. And DXY down about 0.25%. And nothing really to run and tell mom about down here. You got natural gas up about 4%. But as for crypto, keeping an eye on a throwback happening on here for Bitcoin as it sits at 27,400. Just very big caution here on that throwback right now. So that's kind of my concern for the week. And that's just is what it is. So we did get within $500 of reaching that box. But it looks like we went back for throwback first. If we do break up and we head to say 29,000, we'll start talking about potential that was our low. But as of right now, that is certainly a worry right there for Bitcoin. Covering the news. So again, with economic calendar, there's nothing huge on the economic calendar this week. We're going to get new home sales and crude oil inventories. Nothing having to do with like inflation or the Fed decisions. So it's just kind of your basic stuff. Everybody's eyeballing what's coming in 2 weeks, which is going to be the debt ceiling showdown, and whether or not we will get through that thing unscathed, or if we're going to have some type of things defaulting. And again, the Treasury market is very worried that the Treasury is not going to be paying out the yields on those 1 month and two, or really any of the yields that are expiring there in June. That's the big worry of the market right now. So, all right, that pretty much covers it right now. Is that caution on Bitcoin as we are in throwback currently right now? Should we break higher? Good deal, but this is your common throwback zone before things turn back down, as we have not reached as deep as I would have expected us to at least get into, coming within $500, but not quite. Just caution on a throwback in here. As for gold, still in the big battle. Dow Jones now down 105 points. All indexes have flipped negative except for the NASDAQ, which is up 0.06%, just barely in the green here, as I think we're I think we're just going to see a lot of kind of concerns happening in here. Remember, it's the old saying of get ready for everybody who's going to know it. They're going to say, sell in May, go away. It's like, gosh, you're a genius, man. All right, I'm done. I'm done. That's it. Watch out for Bitcoin on a throwback today. We'll keep an eye on it. If it gets a big fat breakout of like a plus $1,000, rock and roll. But definitely on a concern here on throwback right now. It's all right. Let's go ahead and jump into the chat. We'll get going. I got a lot on my plate today to do. So let's hop in here. Daniel 814 says, hi, BCB. First time sign of life. Thank you so much for everything you are doing. I've been following you since 2021. Greetings from good, cold Germany. First timer. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it, man. Whiskey 2. Here we go, everybody. Everybody's been waiting on this guy. I'm alive. Sorry I've been a ghost. Life got crazy fast, but everything is good. We're good, and mom and baby are doing great. Missed this group. Going to be touch and go some, but still here. Like the video. I'm glad to hear you're okay, Whiskey 2. Fill us in when you got some time and what's going on, brother. I hope you're doing well. We wish you the best, man. We definitely talked about you a lot while you were gone, wondering where you were. And then Oscar even, there we go, Oscar super chatting right after that saying, Whiskey, heart, fire, heart, hands, raise hands. So happy to see you back, my dude. Arcturus says, will the old course participants be grandfathered in? No, this will be a new one. So with the old one, it was not a subscription base. It was one time, $39. And I've been giving updates on that thing every month for over a year now. So now this one will be new. LJ says, hey, BCB, is H-bar goodbye in your humble opinion? So H-bar is on my list of things I will buy. We talked about this in the past week, that the thoughts would be getting down into here. So my thoughts are, yeah, the problem I have is my concerns with Bitcoin, right? Now, one would think Bitcoin falls, H-bar falls, right? That's what one would think. However, price level that it's at currently right now is a price level I want to be a buyer at. The only thing holding me back, I want to pay this price. I do. I want to pay that price. I'm totally fine with paying 5.2 cents per H-bar. Totally cool with it. This is my problem. This guy is that I don't trust that this thing is heading up right now. I do have concerns of that fall and what would happen with prices in that fall right there. Now there's been a little trickery. So if you kind of look back over here, right, you look back to these prices right in here, we broke through supports. We went down. XRP was unscathed during that moment. It still just stayed right there the whole time. And that could be the case for H-bar as it sits right in here. But for me, I think for me to start deploying my capital, that like these are going to be my last buys. I'm just kind of wanting to live through this moment first if we're going to have it. If we're not going to end up having it, then this was right all along, and there goes H-bar, and good luck. So the reason why I'm still have my reservations on buying it currently right now is because this is my thought. So this is what my thesis is of the market right now. That could get proven wrong quickly. If we say go to 29,000, then I would start saying to myself, you know what, that might have been the bottom. But as of right now, my thoughts are just that it's a throwback. And if it's a throwback, then there would still be more price action to the downside. And then you would think that would also mean it for H-bar. But as for the price level that H-bar is at, my entire thoughts this whole time have been, these are the price levels I'm going to pay for it. Right there. That's a perfectly fine price for me, for my long-term bag to add it. The only concern I have is that guy. And is that guy gonna impact that? So otherwise, this has been my target price level for accumulation that we're in right here, right now. This whole time, it's been that spot that we're at right now. So I love the price level. I just have this. I have this concern. So hope that answers your question good enough. LJ, thank you. That is my humble opinion. Oscar Hernandez says, did the market cap increase in Bitcoin and alts with the meme pumps, or is it just money rotating as people getting rug pulled? Yeah, no, just totally money rotation. So it's like a form of capitulation, right? So it's people bored, people watching other people. So like all that has to happen is you have millions of people who get into something, and then the story of the one guy who gets in at $27 and gets to like 3 million. It's like hearing the story of a guy who wins the lottery, so everybody runs out and buys lottery tickets, right? That one person's story is going to get highlighted over and over again. So you see people kind of capitulating on everything else that they own and rotating it in. And we know that that's what happened because there was no fresh money that came into the market during this meme coin scenario. I've often talked about lots of forms of capitulation, right? You have time-based capitulation, you have price-based capitulation, and then you have jealousy capitulation. And this is likely going to be, that's not likely, it is. It's jealousy capitulation. And it's greed, right? So back in December, come on. People would not touch this market, and now taking insane risks, like insane. Like sending money to a wallet of a guy on Twitter who's not doxxed, creating a PSYOP coin. It's insane what the risk-taking level is at right now. So that's a concern too. Just from a market perspective on the psychology of the market right now, that participants are willing to take on that type of exorbitant risk when they would not buy Bitcoin at 15.5 because they needed 12. Think about that, how small that percentage is. And then, did I lose my Pepe chart? There it is. And just not a care in the world of buying a bubble, right? So, and like the thing is, everybody hears the story of some guy who gets in way back in here and that his stuff went all the way up to here. So they buy it here or here, whatever, looking for the same. I'm going to turn $27 into 4 million. And that's just not the case. Like what you have to realize, the vast majority of the people who buy into meme coins will get racked. And I'm not saying you can't trade them, man. It's a hype thing, right? So it's not something to like buy and hold. It is a hype moment. It is a euphoria moment. The community is growing and growing and growing and growing. The hype is growing and growing and growing and growing. And then once that hype is gone, boom, it is over. There's nothing else to support the price. It was just a pyramid, right? A pyramid of hype. And then once that's gone, there's nothing underlying it to hold it. And the problem with a lot of the memes is that the people who own the vast majority of the supply can dump these things every time and all the time. That's why you hear like most memes become rug pulls. Pepe is kind of the exception. It got to like $1 billion market cap. It's kind of its own thing, but most other ones do turn into rugs. So it's very cautious with these. There's no question you can make money on them, but the only people who make money on these are the people who get in, let it rise, and get out. The people who buy it and just hold it and wait and wait and wait, inevitably pretty much lose all of it. Because the hype doesn't return the way it did on initial launch. You know, you have to understand, people hop in hoping it's going to become the next Pepe. And then if it just fades out, there's never going to be that hype coming back for that meme coin again, because the next new shiny one shows up promising to be the next Pepe and everybody jump into the next one. So just buying and holding on to these memes, they're just memes. You're not buying anything. You're like, when you think meme, you're just buying into the internet pop culture. And once that pop culture moment wears off for that meme, it's over. Game over. So just caution out there. And again, like I'm saying, not saying you can't make money, but most people don't. And you're the only way that you become that guy who buys $27 worth and it goes to $5 million is like, you have to be one of like the first 3 people to get in and you buy like 20% of the supply. But you can probably talk to somebody who probably actively tries to do that, and they'll probably tell you, yeah, I did that on 200 coins and got rug pulled on 199 of them. And one of them actually ended up going up. So it's it's a wild game, and I feel I'm going to write about it today. The wildness of it, and talk about the in-depth of how people are doing it, and how they're getting into the meme game. So it's I think, and it's not something I would normally write about. I would not normally care about it, but it has undoubtedly taken over Twitter. It has taken over the market, and you see the frustration out there. People like posting like Pepe has more daily trading volume than XRP, right? So I think it needs to be covered. I think we need to talk about it because it is now at this point, the fact that meme season has returned, and we've had that in 2021. It seems to now be a part of our culture. So we'll talk about it. All right, back here. So Oscar, the answer is no. It was just people selling their other coins to chase memes. And you know what I'm interested in too is I'm interested into seeing, the meme coin phenomenon has kind of died in the last few days. I'm wondering if all these people sent all this money to that one guy, Ben.eth on Twitter, and now he's got like $7 million worth of ETH that people sent him from a pre-sale. And God, this is just some dude on Twitter. And if he has actually sucked all the liquidity that is actually moving around in these meme coins now, because it's all in his pocket. And we're not seeing any movement in meme coins anymore because all the actual liquidity is gone. He's got it. That'd be crazy. LJ just said, hey, just to say a big thank you for all you were doing 100%. Thank you so much, LJ. Joseph Wiley. Joseph Wiley says, after being in crypto for 3 years, I think of bonds and CDs as staking dollars. Yeah, and that's exactly what it is, right? With lockup periods, right? Think of more like a high interest savings account is more like staking because I can take it in and out whenever I want. But then like lock periods, right? There's some staking that is lock periods, which is more like a bond or a bill or a CD. John Sugart says, BCB, any word on when you're expecting your chart reading course to be live? I'm halfway done with it. I'm kind of in a predicament, so I'll just communicate this to you how I'm in a predicament at this point. I've done so much traveling. So here's what I did do. I had a time period where I was only doing markets in the morning for a little while, right? So what I was doing is doing markets in the morning and then recording videos all day long. Then, people were obviously getting frustrated that there weren't any videos. And I sympathize with them because this channel is primarily focused on videos. That's just the content. And that's just what my audience is used to. And I totally respect that. I think people, that's the preferred format on this channel. So I totally understand that. Then got to where, then I was traveling to Consensus, right? So that took up a week of my time. Then going to XRP Las Vegas, that took up half of another week. And so now we're back, and I had promised that we would have YouTube videos returning. And so we have. So last week we got 4 YouTube videos. And my intention is to get YouTube videos out this week too. I'm very strapped for time. It takes a lot of my time of a day to do markets in the morning and to do a video and to just maintain that energy level. So now it's less time to work on the course. So it's kind of just like chipping away at it really, really slowly. So I'm hoping within 2 weeks, but I'm trying my hardest, man. It's a slow process with everything on my plate, but not giving up, striving away. Oscar, and then Oscar says, when course release, frown. Yeah, I'm working on it. Thank you, man. And thank you, John. Andrew Zima, hey BCB. So Andrew Zima says, hey BCB, or Zema, thank you for all you do. I've been your follower since early 2020. What is your thought on getting Link? Thanks. Link is more of just a retrace play for me, really. It's not like a super long-term hold for me. Like my hopes for Link are that we get kind of like a break from this Wyckoff range, pops up, and I just rotate all my Link into XRP. That's kind of my thought, my hope. It could always do more than that, but what I'm kind of cheering for is more of just a break back up to here to 13, 14 bucks, and then I'm going to rotate it into XRP. But that doesn't mean I'm not selling too early. I mean, look at the retracement level. That's not very far. It's not even getting to a 236. So retracement levels on the thing when it gets into full swing, it could get way up here, 30, 40 bucks. And that's if it's just going to do that, right? If it's going to set itself up for a full swing. This is a pretty good accumulation that's happened down here for this long. You don't see this happen in markets where you sit there for that long, holding those lows and then break down. I mean, it always could, but you go look through the history of the market. This is usually like a solid bottom that is being formed here in this market. Like this is like holding a beach ball underwater for something big. But my big play of 2023 is likely going to be XRP. I worry about that. I worry about that level right there, holding it down for some time. But true retracement levels are definitely much higher. But I don't follow Link close enough. I know they still have activity, but I don't follow them close enough to be married to my bag on Link. So it'd be probably following people who pay way more attention to it if they're even like super relevant, because I personally wouldn't know. Oscar Hernandez says, "Don't forget leg day." Yeah, I saw you released edited videos of BCB, or no, they're not. They're not. They're real, of XRP productions and BCB. Man, those were some skinny legs on that guy. That was crazy. Guess it was a picture with Trump or something. But yeah, no, I naturally do have skinny legs, and it's pretty annoying because I can go in and deadlift more than anybody in my gym. And that's not to say much because 90% of my gym are women, and that's not to say anything about women. But men are naturally built a little different. Haters will love it. Yeah. So extrapolate from that what you want. But yeah, it's hard for me to gain much on my legs, but I'll walk in and crank out 200-pound deadlifts like they're nothing. But his legs just don't grow that much. But I don't skip it, man. Today was mostly legs. Today was like 75% legs and 25% upper body. So if you guys don't know that, I get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm in the gym by 5 a.m. Usually walking in the door at 4:55 a.m. Working out till about 5:45 a.m. Get home, shower, get the kids off to school, and then boom, right on to the computer I go. And Nisol, oh boy, Inosol, I don't know how to say that. Adrian, hey BCB, could you have a look at? Oh, I don't know what that. It's a uranium chart. Does it look bullish? Thank you. Well, I don't follow uranium, so I don't know what's going on with uranium. Isn't that what's used for, like, making weapons or something? Like, is that what we're betting on here? I don't know. No, that doesn't look bullish. No, that looks dead. That's dead. All day. I mean, maybe. I just don't know. Here, we'll pull this up. Here's why I say that. Yeah, why is anybody like betting? I know, right? I'm bullish on the end of the world. I'm going to make so much money on it, even though I'm going to not make it through that moment. You should not be betting on that. His question is if this is, but the problem is I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess it's accumulating down here. It could go up here. Then I noticed the price numbers over here on the side of the screen. This level is like 13 bucks, and you're at 8 cents. And then it's like, well, wait, let's take this off log scale. Oh, dead. So, I don't know. And I'm personally, I'm bearish on the end of the world. I'm bullish on the world continuing. Otherwise, what's the point, right? It's a sad way to live. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not what that's for. But thank you. Baby Oscar Hernandez says, Hola BCB, will XLM go moon with XRP? Milky gracias. Thank you, baby Oscar Hernandez. I don't know. You know, so here's why I say that. Throughout the years, there's been this huge correlation of whenever XRP is pumping, XLM is pumping with it, right? But it feels like we've actually seen a reduction in that lately. Don't you think? Like when we had this move in here from March 21st through March 29th, was Stellar Lumens doing the same thing? So March 21st. Yeah, of course it was. I don't know, man. Maybe. Maybe, dude. But, you know, for me, it's just like, yeah, I was up 30%. Right? So it's like they've always kind of gone this hand-in-hand thing. XRP did outperform it during that time period. I don't know. They've gone hand in hand, but I also think that a lot of the XRP community is the Stellar Lumens community, and I don't think there's a big Stellar Lumens community independent of itself, which I've expressed. And I expressed that by just going to Stellar Lumens Twitter page and seeing all the people commenting on their stuff. That it's not many people. If you see, you know, big XRP content creators, or if you see anyone from Ripple like Brad Garlinghouse or David Schwartz, you're gonna see tons of comments all over their stuff. If Ripple posts something, tons of comments all over their stuff, right? If I post something, Digital Asset Investor or Kevin Cage or whatever it is, XRP content creator, you're gonna see a bunch of people posting, commenting on their stuff. If you see Stellar Org tweeting on Twitter, there's like barely any comments on it. It's like none. It's like no activity. And when you look to see who it is that's commenting on it, there are like 5 comments they get on their Twitter posts. Unlike Ripple, which will get 1,000. Like the 5 comments, you go look at all those profiles, and they'll all be like retweeting XRP stuff. There'll be XRP people. So I've made the comment. I'm like, where is the Stellar Lumens community? Where I think it's just XRP holders, and it's just by going through Stellar Org's Twitter page. And you go look at Ripple, and then go look at XRP content creator pages, and then compare that to Stellar Org, and you'll say, okay, I understand why BCB is saying what he is saying, because where is this Stellar community? There just doesn't seem to be one. So will they go together? Maybe. They've historically done a lot of price movement together. Yeah, they've done a lot of price movement together, but will that continue? I don't know. It's definitely been observable to see, though, right? So, all right. So there you go. Bitcoin's starting to kind of pull back from that throwback that it had this morning. So this is kind of what we're talking about, seeing if we're heading into finally get back down into that range. We got within $500 of it, but not quite there. All right. George Alexandropoulos says, morning BCB, we have the same gym schedule. Thanks for your insight on the market. Here's to a great week. Rock on, man. All right, look, let me just say this too to anybody who's thinking about getting to the gym, and especially if their excuse is, I don't have time, right? Here's the real reality. You're going to bed too late. All you need to do is wake up early in the morning and make sure it's the very first thing you do every day, because then there's no excuses. It's part of your morning routine. You just wake up, you get dressed, you go. Then you come home and you shower and you get ready for your work or whatever you're going to do for the day. If you wait till lunchtime, or if you wait till after work or late in the afternoon, you're going to make every excuse in the world to not do it. And I know that because even I make that mistake sometimes still to this day. I think I did it twice last week. Like, I can't do this in the morning because I've really got to make this video, and then I got to do markets in the morning, and then I got to practice the drums, and then I got this appointment to do, and then gym just doesn't get done. It just doesn't get done. But if it's done first thing in the morning, you do have time for it. And every time I tell that to people when they say, I just don't have time, I say, well, why don't you just go at 5 a.m.? No, bro. But you can, man. You can. And it'll change your life and make you feel good. Thank you, George. Mr. Jace says, hey, BCB, what's your most optimistic long-term hold? XRP all day. I am much more, call it naive, call it stupidity, call it irresponsibility, call it whatever you want. I just am confident that XRP is going to be okay, even with everything going on. Like, I'm just not worried about it. Maybe that's stupid. I'm just not. But as for everything else on the list, I can come up with reasons to be scared, be worried. But yeah, XRP, it's still to this day, and definitely like feeling massively rejuvenated in the last week about it, for sure. As Garlic Brad says, pump that like button. It's a good idea, guys. Santiago Valles says, take a look at the XRP-ETH ratio in 2018. It retraces 702 after XRP peaked, which may be a good swing strategy and rotation into ETH after XRP peak. Okay, I don't ever look at this. Let's just do it for fun. Is this? I hope this goes back far enough. This probably isn't good enough. Let's do it this way. I know what to do. We'll do it on CoinTrader Pro. XRP. No, XRP and Ethereum. All right. So he must be saying. I'm not seeing a 702 retrace in 2018. Let me see. Take a look at the XRP ETH ratio in 2018. It retraced back to 702, which may be a good swing strategy and rotation into ETH after XRP peak. Well, I don't know. Like so this is why I don't like these, because we ignore US dollars in all of this, right? Like still going into ETH, it lost 90 something percent, right? Or then like, so here's the peak of the market, right? Here's the peak in 2018. Then there's the capitulation moment in 2018. But the market USD value for everything moved down during the whole time. But then there was this big weird move in here. I don't know. That's why I don't like these. I cannot do a good enough job saying there's consistency to make sense. I'd say the nice thing about this is, what do you see? Like crash, retrace, reaccumulation. Come on, baby, go. Go. That'd be insane. All right, I'm not gonna hopium myself that much though. That would be stupid. What would that be? Yeah, no. I'm not allowed to say that kind of number on the YouTube channel. I'll say it anyway. It'd be like $100 XRP. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that for half a second. So don't anybody think I do. But what would be funny, right? So what if you got here, right? What if you got back to the all-time high, right? What if you got up into this area of like 0.01? And if Ethereum is sitting at like right now, it's at 1800, right? So that'd be like an $18 XRP. If you got back to if you were just going to swing in the ratios, right? Like let's say that XRP's entire life cycle is nothing more than this with Ethereum. Getting back to that upper bound of the ratio, that's about $18 at current prices for ETH. But let's say ETH dipped down to $12, right? Still, that would make XRP around 12. So, oh, we'll see. I'm not a huge fan of altcoins versus Bitcoin or altcoins versus ETH, but to each their own. Get that back on the screen. But thank you, Santiago. I don't want to mispronounce your name. Eugen? Hey, BCB, thank you for all your work. What do you think about CSPR? I get asked a lot about that. And you know what was really weird is when I was in the XRP Las Vegas conference, 2 different people said, hey, you got me into CSPR. I'm like, what? How? Like, I don't talk about it except like kind of negatively. I don't know. I don't know. So I believe CSPR is like its market cap is near its all-time high, but the token price has been absolutely decimated by poor tokenomics for a couple of years. So that's the thing that concerns me, and that's really the only thing I talk about with CSPR. I don't know anything about what it is or what the token does. I know nothing about it. So definitely, don't go to me for Casper knowledge for sure. I can point to you the tokenomics. That's why the price is so low, even though the market cap is so high. But and I did talk to the booth when I was there at Consensus, and wasn't like super impressed because they were not capable of answering any questions that I had. And the booth was like the least impressive booth that I saw there. And again, it's not to take a shot at them, man. If you want me I can either paint this picture of it not true or tell you exactly what my observations were. It just wasn't impressive. And they couldn't get my questions answered. It felt like they had a very structured pitch to do, to say, and you guys are going to have to correct me if I'm wrong here, because I don't know, that there's this Casper Enterprises section, and then there's Casper Labs, right? There's like 2 different ones, right? And like there's this Casper Enterprise Alliance or something like that, and they like focus on enterprise, and then there's like the Casper Labs section, and they focus on like retail. And then when they kept pointing to like the Enterprise Alliance thing and saying, yeah, they've got partnerships with this, and this. And I said, oh, really? Can you tell me about those partnerships? No, they don't. And like, would you? It wasn't like they couldn't because they're under an NDA. They just didn't know what it meant. I'm like, great. Can you elaborate on what that partnership meant? And they just didn't know. So it was like, and then I asked just like everything, tokenomics, all this stuff, and like, they didn't have an answer to anything, and it just felt like not prepared. It felt like they were kind of given, and it's nothing to take a shot at the guys that I talked to either. Like they felt like they were just kind of sent to go do a job, and their job was to give this very standard pitch, but they didn't know what to say beyond that pitch if you asked them questions about it. So I don't know. And again, I know nothing about it, so don't go to me. Go to the people who are like pros at Casper. Those are your dudes to talk to, not Blockchain Backer on this one. So there you go. Thank you. And that's your first timer. Appreciate it, Eugen. Frankie says, I work at night, but I try my best to get to the gym on my days off. It's tough, but I'm happy I get off in time to catch markets in the morning. Rock on, man. Yeah, so it's all about just creating habits. It's how everything is. It's about a habit. And if it's a part of your daily habit, it's not something you have to make a decision on. It is just, I wake up, and this is the thing that I do when I wake up. Thank you, Frankie. Oi76. BCB, what do you think it will look like if bottom is in? I don't like to theorize on that stuff, man. I'm just going to let it play out, and then I can figure it out. This is kind of one of those questions where I get asked, what was it like in here, right? I got asked like all different kinds of questions when we were right here. What do you think happens if we go like that? And then when we were up here, BCB, what do you think happens if we go like that? I don't know. I'd have to see prices play out before. 589. Why is everybody typing 589? Oh, 589 likes. Oh, we're at 590. Hurry, one person unlike. Just kidding. Keep liking it. Don't do me like that. Uh, I don't know. Oh, I just we need to let it play out. If it broke up to 2900, then I could start like playing with it and studying it. But with it being like this, I don't think the bottom is in. I think this is just a throwback, but I also don't really like doing hypotheticals when we're not there. There we go, 619. They said forget about it. Oh yeah, 702 is the next target for likes, guys. For likes. You know, that was pretty cool that XRP or that Vegas's area code is 702. It was like meant to be. Um, okay. Somebody has asked me to so I'm gonna look at this, but I don't even know if I'm gonna bring it up. So guys, one thing is like if do yourself a favor because I don't want to do this to anybody. I don't want you to donate and then me not like answer your question. A lot of people ask me about different altcoins all the time, and sometimes I can't do it or I'm not willing to do it. And you're taking a really big gamble if you donate asking me to look at an altcoin, especially like these like $1.99. These are the minimum required to show up on the thing. So there's like our minimum donations to get attention, and they're like, "Hey, what about this altcoin?" It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? Especially if I've never heard about it. Don't waste your money, man. I'm not here to just take your money, dude. If all you do is you come to this channel and you hit the like button, we're cool, man. You don't have to donate a thing, dude. And I definitely don't want to steal your money, but there's times where people ask me about altcoins, and I'm just not going to cover them. And that's just because we have 1,500 people in here. Some people do come in here donating the minimum $2 to get their altcoin pumped in front of 1,500 people, and then another 10,000 people who watch the replay. So sometimes we don't talk about it. And so don't waste your money, guys. I don't want to. It's not me trying to do you wrong. It's me looking out for the 1,500 people in here, and then the 10,000 people are going to watch the replay of it. Same story. That's a 5-wave structure down. I don't know. That one. It just looks like it's going to have to go into long-term accumulation. And I don't know what that was, why that pumped so huge in such a short time like it did. How much did that pump back in 2021? So it pumped 10,000% when most of the market was still bearish in July and August and September of 2021, and then had its final massive 1,000% there in 2 weeks there at the end. I don't know. I wouldn't trust that thing. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to bring it up on the channel though, man, for Dishan, but that's kind of my answer. I don't know. It doesn't look that great to me. Bull Trading asks, do you have any long-term targets for XRP? Nope. Just chilling. I think I probably made 100 videos on it. Yeah, it's around $10. So, around $10, I've gone through all the analysis on that. Catching up to Ethereum's market cap. The market cap for XRP is 4.236 extension, retracements for Bitcoin, all that kind of stuff. But that's the general area where I will be letting go 65%. And I just want to warn you guys, just when that day comes. Everybody will hate me. I already know it. Just hopefully some of you OGs stay around after that. Just remember, I'll still hold 35%. I'll still be rocking and rolling, and there'll be a stupid amount of money that I'll still be risking in XRP. But I will sell 65%. And I've said that since day one, and I'm still going to do it. So you have to still like me. Okay, so yeah, there's another one. A $2 altcoin, $2 donation for an altcoin I've never heard of. I don't know, man. I'm not going to bring it up on the channel because I've never heard of it before. And that's just me being naive, man. But when I get those like $2 donations for some altcoin I never heard of, man, I can't bring it up on the channel. Sorry, Patrick, I am. Oscar, what are BCB tokenomics? Yeah, I've been waiting. I'm not going to say it. Yeah. Thank you, Oscar. Kevin Meaner says $2 just to say, I appreciate you, PCB. There we go, man. Not an altcoin. Thank you, Kevin. So, all right. I'm all caught up over here, guys. Thank you guys so much. We are 4 likes shy of 702. Let's see if we can crush through it. Taking a look over here as we start out the week, guys. This is the thing we've been talking about this morning is that, Bitcoin did rally a little bit over the weekend and into this morning. It's up $373 right now, 27,300. But just to be mindful of this being a throwback here for Bitcoin. XRP still just chilling right here on top of the 200-day moving average as it has for the last 8 days, regardless of the price action over there on Bitcoin. So it still is just chilling in here. Nothing convincing happening from it just yet, but it is still alive. Dow Jones in the stock market down about a 15.15% to 0.25% for the indexes over here. Looks like more in the red than in the green, but Coinbase is at least the leader there at 1.8%, as crypto is still doing okay through a day like this over here in the stock market. We know we have the debt ceiling coming up pretty soon, so that's kind of the concern of the market, and we watched it live. We watched these things flip-flop back and forth. Let's see if it says worried. Please say it. Yes. S&P 500 falls slightly as traders assess ongoing debt ceiling negotiations. Every day, this is what it's going to be. I hope you know that. All right. So that's what we're waiting on today as we start the week. So Green Day and crypto, be careful of it being a throwback in here. Stock market, wishy-washy, and so is the news cycle talking about the debt ceiling because they got nothing else to talk about. That's what they're going to say. Prices are up because people are optimistic about the debt ceiling showdown. Prices are down because traders worry about the debt ceiling showdown. That's our headline for the next 2 weeks. Be ready for it. Don't buy into it. We'll see what happens. We know that the credit default swaps are the highest they've ever been, so there is some serious concern in there. This is not your typical one. At least that's not what the bond market is saying, and bond yields and bills and notes and all that good gravy. So otherwise, I'm going to get to work today. Today will be newsletter day and video today, later today. And yeah, so I want to thank you guys so much for showing up, as you always do. Thank you for your support. Thank you for hanging out in the chat. You guys in there, I sincerely appreciate just all the support you always give me. And I thank you. Saying sincerely isn't good enough. Thanks. Appreciate it. All right. I'm wrapping it up. I'm not going to get emotional on a Monday. Catch you guys later. That's it. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one. Hey, look at that. 777.